Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to Manor Lords in our lovely little town of Swords, although it's not the only town we have anymore. Of course, in the previous episode, we had set up a second little village, our little upstart of the Knoll. So over here, we are basically prioritizing this area to be an agricultural region. Currently, we have 7 families moved in. It was a little bit of a struggle at first, but they seem to be doing just fine now with good approval. More people moving in, and now that it's spring, we want to get set up on the berry deposits just to get a little bit of extra food variety in there. Now currently they're in kind of land clearance mode, right? We have 1, 2, 3 logging camps, just chopping down all the wood around us, and of course the woodcutter's lodge as well, to get a little bit of firewood. It's going to take a family off this one because it's actually full now. And we can see we have 45 timber stockpile, so we're going to be able to do a lot of building fairly quickly. Just once we get a few more families moved in, we'll be ready to do that. So to get started, we're going to go with a forager hut, and just somewhere out closer to the berry deposit, I guess. And I'll just bring a road in, just to bring that connection back. Anyways, this is all sort of temporary until we just get a bit more population. Then we're going to really put all that wood to use and build out more dedicated, larger plots for these people. Of course, what I'd like to do for this, being a sort of farming-inspired village, is have much bigger plots for the individual burgage plots, so they can have their own vegetable patches and supply vegetables back towards what's becoming sort of like the city of Swords. Just because it's a bit more urban, a bit more densely packed together. It's obviously tiny right now, right? 171 people living here, 66 housing or space for families. So we have 55 families, so lots of room for growth still. But I'm constantly upgrading it still, just because we're now taxing it. So it's at 10% taxes, which means that we only get money just from the individual residential income that they make. So a burgage plot level 1 doesn't make anything. Level 2 makes 1 regional wealth, and level 3 makes 2 regional wealth. That's it. Really, really low. So you need a lot if you're going to tax them, because 10% of just like, I don't know, what, 50 houses making 2 each. So 10% of 100, we're only getting 10 per month. Something like that. But we do have a lot of plots now that are level 3, so hopefully we can start really pumping those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers, of course. Now, we also are setting up our weaver's workshop. We have our first pasture, so we're hopefully going to be able to get some, obviously, wool in, but then make yarn. Not sure what you need it for, but we could always sell it if we ever needed more regional wealth. Something I'd like to get set up with in this episode as well, now that we have our second region on the go, is a pack station, which I believe allows us to transfer things between the 2 regions. Not entirely sure how it works, but it says mules will transport up to 20 goods per trip. So what I was thinking is we could start purchasing some mules. Again, well, I guess we'll just get to it when we get to it, but I wasn't sure, like, do you need mules in this region and the other? Like, do they only export, but can the mules I purchase here bring stuff in from the Knoll? Because that'd be ideal, because this is the place with all the wealth. Now, it might just be an export thing. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sorry that some people probably know this and I just don't. But anyway, let's import. I'm going to set this to, I don't know. Is 20 too much? I feel like they can be on their own pasture, right? Maybe. Let's see. We'll figure this all out together, I guess. Haven't really tested it, so. Anyway, so for farming, then we need a little pasture just for these. And yeah, we'll just stick it out somewhere at the front. We can always move it a little bit later, but just something really basic right now. So how many do we have here? This perfect, 22, right? So we can get some mules. Hopefully they'll go in there. Anyway, the weavers is then gonna, yeah, like we said, make some of that material. We'll have to assign a family to it. And again, it being spring over here, let's get some people on the berries. Now, just trying to think what we should be prioritizing next. God, it's really heaving it down again. But it looks great down on the ground. I've gone around all the families again, and of course named everyone. I say it looks great, and then an ox just walks straight through a building, but you know, we're almost there. But I've gone around and named everybody again, so all of the Tier 3 and Tier 2 memberships are now completely in the game, with some of the Tier 1s starting to appear as well. So just shout out to the channel members. Really do appreciate it. It helps a lot. Helps keep series going, especially like just when the series go on for a little while, you know, numbers go down a little bit, so you guys really allow me to hang on to a series much longer than would be otherwise, I guess, normally viable. Plus, I also love playing it, so it just works. Not sure what this ox is doing, just sat outside here. He's just got a big log tented to him. His handler is missing at the moment. Had to do it, man. Had to get down on the ground, because it just looks so good on this street. I just love it so much. I think it's so great. I mean, the vision would be to have this street kind of duplicated over and over in lots of different places, like all crisscrossing and interlocking with other parts of the town and stuff, you know, not just one street with tier 3 plots on it. But it's really quite nice because you almost get this stone road effect with some of the tier 3 plots have all this kind of coblock and stone that's bleeding out into the main trail. Looks quite cool. Kind of feel like it would be nice to have actual stone paths eventually as well. Like maybe you unlock them as a buildable when your town gets to a certain size, and then you can use your stone to build it or something. I don't know, but it does feel like by this point maybe, especially with all the heavy rain, that people just wouldn't really want to be squelching around in the mud all the time. But I don't know, because there is little bits kind of there. It's such a tease. All right, anyways. Just wanted to indulge in that for a little bit. So I'm trying to prioritize what's going to be happening next. We're just kind of waiting on families to move in. So it's been a little while. It was just raining constantly and not much was happening. I was just kind of waiting on people doing their jobs. Now we did make a fat rip in our treasury from the taxes, so that's nice. But also another family has just moved in here to the knoll. The clouds have dissipated. The sun is breaking through. The timber is drying off. I could only imagine with some mods that people might want to do where they want to make it even more realistic. Maybe you couldn't build or use the timber until it had dried off, or less efficient building maybe, or something like that. I don't know. You can only imagine what people are going to cook up with these kind of things. It never ceases to amaze me, no matter how realistic a game gets. People just want it to be even more realistic, to the point where it's like simulator level. It's like, I want to be that woman, you know? I want time to move, real time. I want to literally be a medieval peasant. Anyways, maybe in our dystopian VR future, we could live out those dreams. So, we've got another family that moved in here to the knoll. It's becoming nighttime. Let's just assign this forager hut to a family so we can get some berries coming in. And I'd like to, now that we've actually filled up all our houses, just build another couple plots really quickly. And just kind of, yeah, throw them in here. Whatever, dude. Don't really care. 3 more. Perfect. Just get them in there. And then pretty much after that, I'm going to start kind of coming up with a layout for where we actually want people to live and proper big-sized plots so they can start getting vegetables and things like that. So, I'd said in the previous episode, this is the King's Road. We can't really affect it. And there's all this open land out here, so I'd like to get building farms out here first. And we're going to have loads, like lots of smaller little patches and then bigger ones, just so we can do a lot of crop rotation. I'm not going to make some gigantic, massive one farm. I think it's probably better to have a series of like kind of smaller ones with maybe roads and stuff in between. Hopefully that would work out, and then maybe granaries or something as a focal point, get that windmill going. Stuff like that could be quite cool. So that's kind of the vision that we're building toward. Alright, let's check things back out at swords now. Enemy unit has been spotted. What does that mean? Oh my god, where's this? Okay, so at the very north of the map we have, what is that? 36 and another 36, 72 rebels or brigands moving in. I totally forget. Is this the first time that this has happened? I was gonna say I've forgotten that this can happen. In the other gameplay mode it happens all the time, but in this one? Now, the fear is, oh god, is that the knoll is totally unprotected. This is so funny, actually, because there was a comment on the previous video saying something about you should garrison some troops there. And I was like, well, why would I need to do that? Because in my mind, I was thinking, like, the only time we've really seen bandits is when we go to their camp. I can't quite recall being attacked by them, but maybe in one of the first episodes this did happen. Oh yeah, it did, didn't it? Oh my god, I'm such an old man. I can barely remember anything anymore. We fought over here at the church. I do remember that now. Oh my god, yeah. So that person was right, whoever that was. So really quickly, what we could do, we just made a fat rip from the taxes, like I'd mentioned. We could open up the mercenary screen. Oh, look at that. They arrive in the knoll. So we can get some light mercenary archers and heavy mercenary archers. New to the region, hailing from far in the west, the region of Francia. Or Francia, whatever. Their customs and tongue are strange, and they rarely mix with the locals, spending what money they acquire in taverns and retreating to nurse their drinks in the deep woods. Boom. Sign the contract. Mercenary company hired. Now, we want to send these guys out as well, don't we? Really meet them in the field. I don't mind the productivity going down for a bit. Let's send the boys out. Even the retinue. Everyone. Let time play now. So, we have our mercenary company up in the top right, the Wayward Sons. Next payment in 30 days. It's only 45 gold, so it's not too bad. Our guys are mustering. Just want to see where ours are coming in. Coming in from over there. Alright, we'll just let time play for a minute, and then we'll move them into position. Just to make sure we protect all our territories. I wonder, could they do anything to raid the territory that has no buildings in it? Like, is there any way they can turn it back to neutral, you know what I mean? Because we're not there and not defending it. Like, if they sat there long enough, would they be able to do that? Looks like we're going to be going out for a night. It looks like they're attacking us at night as well. A bit of a nighttime raid coming in. And we'll have to keep an eye on these boys to see if anyone dies. So that's 36, 36, and 36. So we've got the numbers. My only fear, the reason I bought the mercenaries is because I don't know if we're going to be able to get to the Knoll in time. And it looks like that's where they're moving. So, yeah. Let's give them another minute to get ready. Right, so the archers at least will be able to do something. Maybe they could hold the line here. In fact, run there right now. Hold the line. That's well in front of the town. These guys, I think I might just walk them up. Would that be a terrible idea? I don't know. Let's see, are they running? Running. They're not running. Okay, let's just run. We'll run. Okay, fair enough. We'll run. Run to about here. Make sure we gain our fatigue back. Yeah, that's giving some excitement to the game. I forgot about that. I totally forgot that raiders could come in. Maybe just at the back here. Ooh, interesting. These guys can actually spread out. My archer unit cannot do that. So these guys actually have different abilities. Makes soldiers harder to hit with missiles and makes the unit run slightly faster. Oh. Yeah, get moving then. Is it the same for both? Yeah. Oh, I just realized something about the mules. You need stables, not pastures. That makes sense. Alright, we could build several stables down here then. So let's do that. So what they would need for that is several hitching posts, right? And then they have to be upgraded. Can't build stables right off the rip. It'd be nice to get a building where there's like multiple stables together or something. Alright, let's just tell them to do that and we can upgrade them and then move them a bit later. Oh wow, there's like a big cliff here. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was any cliffs in the game. There is actually a little river, a little stream in the game as well. Well, they've entered our region. I'll tell you what, let's just stand a little further back and aim that way. The other units are on the way. So it looks like the sun might be coming up. The raiders are just coming down this little valley here with the cliff on the right side. I've decided to actually go and try and take the hill because our archers will fight in melee. Not that I want them to, but they are mercenaries, so at least they can just hold the line until our other units get here. Which should be moving still up this direction. So we'll just hold here. Do our best to, well, I keep saying the same thing. Do our best to hold the line. Now, do they fire less accurately with this or anything? No. Stand your ground. I suppose why not? Missile alert. Shoot at will. Instead of shooting a volley, soldiers fire aiming directly at the enemy. Alright, they're almost in range. There we go. They keep coming in and out of the woods. Alright, we've got two. Oh, they're falling now really quickly, actually. Right, now that we've closed the gap, shoot at will. Fire to the volley quickly, lads. Right, next unit's coming. This one. Oh my god, turn to face them, please. Alright, so the archers are engaged. Our regular units are still not quite there, and they're so tired from all this like hill climbing and running as well. But the battle has begun. We can let the archers just do their thing. The heavy ones, I would assume, will be the guys that can hold their line just fine. More bandits are moving in. That's it. That's all 4 units engaged now. These mercenaries might actually be enough to hold and do just fine by themselves. Seems like it. Basically seems like it. One of the units are gone already. We've lost 1 man from the archers and 4 from this group over here. They're the guys that are light, so they're going to need a bit more help, I guess. And turn these guys. It looks like my boys aren't going to really help at all, actually. They're at fire at will, so they're just going to shoot whoever they can. And that's it. Is it? Oh no, there's still 12 men still holding out. There's a bunch of them stunning here at the back. Can we fire into them, please? Alright, there we go. Pretty easy. Little anticlimactic. The archers were able to hold their own. I would like, you know, at this point to see a wave of 4 times that size coming into us. But I do think we got a little lucky with where we had our mercenaries coming back in from. Right, so these guys weren't needed at all. I thought maybe they would be, but I guess not. Alright, we'll just send them back home. Sorry for all the running, lads. These guys, 17 days. We could just disband them. We're probably not going to need them. So, yeah, I guess you've done your job. So how many men did we lose in total? We lost 4 from the light unit and 1 from the heavy unit. And that's it. Well, job well done. We'll disband. Okay, and they just disappear. Well, we've got tons of influence now, so what can we do with that? Can we counterclaim? You need 2,000 to claim with influence one of the Baron's regions. I would like to get the one with a lot of stone, actually. Be kind of nice. Stone and more wild animals. Good food. Right, in the meantime, our regular units are going to be heading on home. I might in future station one of them out here for the next raid. I'd imagine there's not going to be another raid this year, so maybe next year, springtime or something, we'll leave a unit out here just in case, if they don't have any defenses themselves, or, like I said, leave the retinue out here. Alright, the troops are back home. This is my favorite way into the town. It's winding up this little trail up the hill here, and cresting some of the houses that are kind of built into the hill. These are going to be all our builders. That's why none of the hitching posts were getting done, because a lot of the builders are out. Oh, I've got a trader here as well. Nice. Yeah, still my favorite place, easily, this area, just as people come in from that direction all the time. Always looks so cool, I think.
Summer's coming soon, and soon the beating sun.
Ah, that's nice. He said, summertime's coming soon, and soon the beating sun. Love it. Oh, it's so nice. The weather has cleared up. It really does feel so nice. Alright, that was a nice little walk. So, we need another family on the granary, leaving us with 2 free families to build. I'm fine with that. New mercenary companies available. It is worthwhile just seeing who's available. These guys would arrive in swords. It's the same unit as before, the Wayward Sons. So that's interesting, right? It's like, yeah, we really did look out. If this was the only option, those raiders would have made it to the Knoll before we could have gotten there. So we totally got lucky on that one. Alright, we got another family in swords. Gonna put another one out on berries, just because it's seasonal, so I feel like we should try and deplete it, just to kind of stock up on as much of that as we can. We've also increased the amount of families on the granary. We still have this granary out here with 49 barrels of ale currently stored in there. What a target, huh? What a target for raiders that would be coming in from like that edge of the map or something. So I'm just after noticing, I know it's quite dark, but this little patch of houses here, they're ready to be upgraded to tier 3. So I'd say let's just go for it. That'll be extra money to tax. Extra demands though, but oh yeah, we're low on planks. That's fine. Yeah, so the first 3. It'll be interesting to see how these how they kind of shape out once they're done. Is that... Am I wrong in thinking that this house just massively scaled up for some reason when we clicked upgrade? I think it did, right? It looks huge. It's not definitely... Was it like that? I don't think so. It's huge. Yeah, I think it just scaled up really. Because the doorway is like just massive. Let's get down on the ground. And just see how this doorway compares to the size of our guy. Yeah, it seems pretty big. Compared to this one, where it's like, you can just barely fit in there. If anything, that one seems a bit small. This one seems rather large. Although, I suppose if we were to take that step and hop in... Now I'm starting to wonder, is it the other ones that are just weirdly small? God damn it! The sun was just starting to crest over the hill. There's a nice golden hue being cast across the valley, and then what do you know, it starts lashing rain yet again. Oh boy. Anyways, here in the Knoll, I'm building 2 more little logging camps, because these ones are now all full. I'm going to start kind of clearing out towards this direction. I was going to say that I'll do a time-lapse of building out little fields and roads and stuff here, because it could take quite a while to get it how I like. But I don't want to do it while it's raining, so I'll do it whenever it stops raining, basically. Alright, so I've just been looking over some things. We've currently made 30 pole arms, right? So we can make a unit that requires pole arms. So this one, for instance. And, you know, when we get the remaining people, then we'll be able to field it. We have basically enough pole arms already. So we're totally good there. In fact, I might just stop the blacksmith for now. Alright, so you've done your job. So they were making pole arms. Now, I asked before if we need to make tools. People said they actually don't do anything in the game right now. So, no need to make tools, I guess. I guess you just get given some when you set up a new village. But you don't actually need them. So I've been kind of looking like, okay, gambesons, plate armor, mail armor, and helmets. So in our development tree, we know that there was basic armor making, right? Enables blacksmiths to craft helmets. And then you can get mail armor and plate armor. It'll convert all the inhabitants to artisans, locking them from being assigned to other jobs. Here in Master Armor Making it says, okay, you can make plate armor, which can in turn be used to upgrade the retinue. And here, the Advanced Armor Making Mail Armor, which can be used to equip citizens of burgage plots of level 3 and above, or promoting new retinue. So it actually makes a distinction between the two there. It says you can actually equip citizens of burgage plots of level 3 and above with mail armor. Now, does that mean that the militia will field mail armor? Is that what that means? Because there is a thing here, like in the tooltip, that says 0 helmets, 0 gambeson, and 0 mail. So, presumably, yes. And then there's, of course, the retinue, right? So the retinue, at the moment, we can just pay money directly to beef it up, which is fair enough. But then there is the recruit ministerials, right? If we want to promote our citizens, which is what I assume the tech tree meant by... Oh, no, maybe not, actually. The tier 3 probably just means tier 3 households can get those things. Anyways, recruiting ministerials, I guess, is recruiting your own citizens and then supplying them with these things, or whatever they need. Yeah, I guess. Because you can also then swap out the look of people. And then it says upgrade armor import. Pay the full price to upgrade the armor set for this retainer. So let's just do it with one person. Oh, wow. Cool, I guess. It's really cheap. It's only 8. Now, does that mean... Can I still change the helmet? Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Badass. Yeah, we'll do this for everybody then. Make sure they're all upgraded. I want them all with closed helmets, please. I just think it'd be cooler. And I assume if you had your own armor, you wouldn't need to hit the upgrade button. You'd hit the buy locally, right? Just take it from your own people. And the funds will get transferred into your regional wealth. Interesting. So your treasury becomes regional wealth if you just pay your own citizens to supply the armor. That's cool. Love that. Yeah, well, anyway, we'll just pay to upgrade now because we can't make our own armor. We locked ourselves out of that. Man, they look so badass. I didn't choose their colors, but a lot of them have red. They all have these little red gloves, I guess. Red shields, red gambesons. But yeah, they look awesome. Love it. Alright, go back to work. Do whatever you gotta do. I haven't actually named these people thinking about it. I'll have to come up with some names for them. Oh, right, anyways, the whole reason to talk about all that stuff was I was thinking about what should we start making next, or trying to. So, gambesons, I guess. Or we could also just buy mail armor. Should we try do that? And then we could equip some of our units. That's what we could do with all this money, right? We have so much of it. We're not making our own armor here because we've locked ourselves out of it, at least in this region. We could use the regional wealth to at least trade for it, so why not, I guess? Big question mark. So, we want... Ultimately, we want mail armor and helmets. So let's try both of those. So we'll just order 36 of each. So import, import, and I'll say we want 36 and 36. Alright, the rain has finally stopped over in the knoll, and we have extra logging camps set up. We have 80 timber in total. So I'm going to start laying out the layout for farms, and we'll do it in a bit of a time lapse because now the area is kind of clear and we can kind of see what's going on. So let's get to it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. This is my sort of organic / random layout for my fields. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fields in total, all being left fallow. I've got a plot here, a relatively large burgage plot that should be mostly vegetable patch. We've got the windmill in the center. This is actually on the high ground. It's kind of hard to see, but there is a little bit of a hill here, so it's 100% efficiency for the windmill, so I was quite happy about that. We then have the actual farmhouse, storehouse, granary, and a hitching post here. Probably do another hitching post or something over there. And we'll probably need another farmhouse or something nearby if it's going to be this sort of central location for the amount of families that are going to be working these. So, pretty happy with it. I think it looks kind of cool. I'll be interested to see what people think. I'm not saying it's historically accurate or something, but I think it looks cool. But anyways, so with that in mind, now we can maybe let some people start the building process. We'll take some people off the logging camps. In fact, I think we should take most people off. We'll put on one person onto the hitching post and just let these 3 families build. What else are we doing? Do we still have... No, that's okay. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. So as people move in, more and more workers are going to get out there and start working on these things. I'm not really planning on actually using these fields this year. At least I didn't think I would. Really just want to get the infrastructure and everything built around here, and then really for springtime next year. Maybe we'll do the plowing towards the end of the year this year and can start them up next year. The idea is to have lots of smaller plots with crop rotation going on. So right now, everything's just set as fallow, no crop rotation, but I imagine we're going to be pretty much doing mostly wheat everywhere. So it would be nice to get some barley going, so perhaps this one could be barley. We'll do another field maybe here that could be barley, and we'll have wheat in basically all the other areas. Yeah, so that's the plan at least for now. Alright, meanwhile, back in Swords, what's the sitch? We're down to 2,400, so have we been taken in... Oh my god, we have 36 plate armor already? That was so quick. That was done in like one single purchase, basically. Now, hang on a second. Wasn't I supposed to say mail armor? Did I hit plate armor? God, I'm such a flippin' idiot sometimes. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, it can't be used. Now, we can sell it for what we bought it for, actually, can't we? So there's... Although, actually, we can... With the new retinue we get, I suppose we can give them that, right? So at least we'll get some use out of it, but not everything, I guess. But that was a mistake. A mistake straight off the bat. If we were to hire another men-at-arms... Yeah, so we've got 36 pieces of armor, so we could just go buy locally, and there you go. And some of that money goes back into our regional wealth, actually, which is interesting. Okay, so we're up to 7 now. Yeah, anyway, that was a mistake. So what we could do in the trader for military, just, sorry about that, say, forget about no trade on plate armor, just leave it, whatever. What we want is mail armor. And import, and we'll do 36 again with this one, so... There we go. Alright, mistakes. Anyways, did we get any helmets? No. 0 helmets, 0 mail armor. So hopefully we'll get those next, and we can equip the... just some of our units with some better gear. I don't mind having different... It'd be interesting in trying to have different pockets of towns within one region. That's kind of what I want to go for. Like, a pocket of villagers living around several farms, and then further down, like, another one out here, and then another one further up here. It's quite a long region. So it stands to reason that we're not just going to have one central market and people moving all the way up to get up to their workplace. However, I can't really tell people if they work up here, they could live down there. I don't know if I can set a sort of priority. You can keep reassigning them until they're kind of close by, though, I guess. So maybe that would work as well. God, I love this. I think it looks so cool. Just like really natural looking. Maybe a bit small, I don't know. Some of these ones. I think on average they're like 0.6, 0.7 Mordicans. This one was 0.4, and this one was 0.4 as well, even though they... I guess it makes sense why they'd be the same. But yeah, this was like 0.7, I think. So was this one. Oh wow, the purchase has been done. God, that's happening so quick, I don't even notice it. 36 mail armor is now here. So what's the deal with that? Is it just going to get stored in random people's houses? And then when we levy a unit, they'll be wearing that equipment. Oh yeah, it says that these guys, 10 of them are going to have the equipment, 10 of them, or 9 of them have helmets. So that's cool. 9 of them... Oh, right, yeah. I'm being so silly. I forgot. You don't need to show surplus goods, just show all. So now we can see we do have 36 helmets. And they've been drafted already. Now this says that that's our desired surplus, not what we have equipped. So I suppose the surplus I would want to have is just 1, really. But sure, why not have a surplus for the to make a brand new unit? I guess that makes sense. That's fine. Now, thinking about it, does our polearm unit need big shields? No, they don't. They don't need any shields. Only these guys need the big shields. Oh my god, the golden fields. Look at this. It looks so good. Oh my god. I'm probably just crazy, but I just think it looks beautiful. Like, just such natural lighting, and he's done such a good job with that. It looks so good. Can't wait to get our little farmhouse built and a few of the additional things. So, just to go over it, we have a farmhouse, storehouse, which can store barley and flax, granary, which can store, like, grain and a few other things, the windmill that can make the flour. Just trying to think, am I missing something that goes along with these? You could have the communal oven up here as well. I suppose workers use flour to produce bread, so we could pop that in at the side of the farmhouse. Actually, would kind of look good, I think. Sheep farm and pastures, I suppose, would also make sense because we want to put livestock on these fields to keep their fertility up over time. So maybe we'd have that somewhere up at the back of the farmhouse or something. Sheep farm. Could have it right in the back there. Then we can have a more organic looking pasture on the side. Let's do the communal oven. So a little kind of pathway comes out of the farmhouse here. So if I push this just a little further back, it kind of look like it's one. I'm hoping. Try to make it look kind of natural, like where the trails would naturally go. Nice. Something like that. Cool. Anything else in there that we could use? That's the farmhouse field. I have a well up here as well. English is funny sometimes. I thought about adding even more houses in and around the farms. Like, people are, like, literally just tending to their own fields. So that would be kind of nice. We could do that. We could have, like, a burgish plot somewhere like there, as an example. Lower it down so it's just, like, 1 or 2 or something. They're looking after their fields. But, again, this is why I did a time-lapse. I want time to kind of figure out a good layout for all of that. But this was kind of the first version of that. There's going to be 2 houses in this plot, potentially. So one will actually be in the corner here, and one was there. So that worked out really nicely, with most of this going to vegetables. So I think that'll look kind of cool. I've thought about just leaving the patch of trees and stuff here, because the terrain is actually different underneath, or the texture on the ground like looks different. I think it's just because it's a woodland area, and that probably goes away as you remove the trees. But I thought, you know what, just leave it there. It's natural. It's part of the terrain. We kind of built around it at first, and maybe we'll change that over time as we're eroding the forest back down this way. But yeah, overall, quite happy with how it's all coming together. Might want to get another person on the berries for now. And the hunting is kind of staying even, so that's good. Oh, the burgers plot level 1's done, is it? It is done. Yeah, look at this. So the house is embedded in trees right now, but let's just expand it right now so 2 people can live here. And then we'll line it up to have vegetables. We have a little bit of money already. 60 regional wealth. Oh no! Oh, the fence. It goes straight across. Damn it! Oh, it could have been so perfect. Oh, this house might have to be deleted then. That's such a shame that it did that. I might just leave it. We'll try reload the game. Maybe it'll fix it then. But if it doesn't, and it just has a fence going across one of my fields, I'll have to change the layout a little bit. We could maybe bring a road from here across to there and shove it in a bit differently. We actually haven't built this yet in the game, which is so funny in this playthrough, because I just haven't dealt with farms whatsoever yet. You can have many families on farms. 6, I want to say. Maybe even 8. Yeah, 8. Wow. Add a plowing station. Enables employing oxen at the farmhouse for significantly faster plowing of large fields, as well as bringing crops back to storage more efficiently. Let's do it. That's one of our upgrades for the development point we got. Oh wow, I didn't even notice we're up to 1200 treasury now. That's pretty good. Yeah, our taxes are starting to pay off. All these tier 3 plots that we have. I feel like we're getting more than I would have even anticipated. Just says collected from regional wealth, 10%. Now, it's not taking 10% of regional wealth every month, is it? That'd be pretty huge if that was the case. So you'd expect with 1,244 that we would make 124, right? If it was just straight up 10%. I wonder what would happen if I put it to 100%. Will we just drain it completely? I guess I should test that. Because my understanding was you're only taking from the income they make each month, not from the pool of wealth that everyone has. That'd be a strange tax. You know, to just be like, how much do you have? I'm taking 50. And then they go down to having like half of what they had. Then next month, I'm taking another 50 of that. And then so on and so forth until you've got like basically nothing left. Ah, this is done now. See, this would have been perfect. If we could just get rid of that fence, this would be perfect. Lovely little house here on the side. Another one here. And then basically, so vegetables is what I wanted them to have. Oh, you're killing me with the fence. You're killing me with the fence. But that would have been so nice. It's perfect. It's almost perfect. Please. I'm going to ask Greg, can you edit my save file, please? I know you've got like a launch of this game coming up and you're probably quite busy, but just for me, can you maybe just fix that fence, please? By the way, it's worth mentioning, I might mention this earlier in the next episode, but people have said, like, can you zoom in on the Baron cities? I've mentioned this before, but they don't build. There's no dynamic AI in the game. So just want everyone to know what you're getting when you buy this, okay? So, or if you buy it. Hildebold von Berenut does not actually play the game that we're playing. He is an off-map NPC that's in a scripted way. You know, probably just has a set of income that's ticking up over time, maybe based on the regions, and then sends in mercenaries whenever bandits pop up to deal with them. I think that's basically the extent of it. Now, I don't know. Does he ever go to war with us? Will he ever reach a point where they make so much money that they're like, now's the time that we're just going to attack the player? Not sure, but either way, we'll never burn down any towns. He doesn't build, because it's just an off-map NPC kind of thing. The goal of the game, eventually, the development, is to have multiple lords that are doing their own thing and building. And, you know, the idea is that you go into diplomacy, you negotiate. That's, you know, it's all... The foundations and the framework are there for that to be happening in the future, but obviously it's just not ready yet. It's not done yet. So it is a shame, because I do feel like until that happens, there's an inherent... Like, the game is fairly replayable, because there's still lots to do. You can always just try to keep pushing your population, conquering regions and stuff, but at a certain point, it feels like a dynamic A would just... AI? Dynamic A. A dynamic AI would give you just almost unlimited replayability. Especially if you had 2 or 3 of them on the same map, because then you could play them off each other. You know, they could have ranging difficulties, and it would give you a lot more life to the game overall, just to be competing with them. But at the moment, it's just a small version of that, I suppose, to kind of let you see how that works. So it's interesting that the AI obviously works for moving their units around. It's just, there must not be any, like, building AI or economy or making real thoughtful decisions about any of that kind of stuff, about where to plan, where to build, where to conquer, which region to take. At the moment, it just doesn't matter, because they don't build. They just take it whatever over time, based on some money that they must have. Now, I reckon because we've got a bunch of money, open this up, open up our retinue. Let's beef it up, shall we? Boom, 12 out of 12. So in order to grow it further, we need to build that additional tower, and then we can go up to 24, I believe. The other thing to do with these guys now would be to make sure that they take our armor on. Oh, he looks so cool wearing blue. Yeah, I don't know why I'm so easy. Oh, wait, I just realized we could change the colors. God, I'm such an idiot. Why do people watch me? I have no idea. Anyway, right, cool. Yeah, I might get our colors going then. In between episodes, I'll switch these to kind of like blue and yellow. That would look pretty sick. Traders are coming in. The amount of trade... So, I see a lot of trade coming in, and I suggested on Twitter to the Manor Lords Twitter account, Greg, who runs it. He had asked something about trade and about the kind of snowball effect in the game and how... Right, so a little bit of time has passed. I was actually just kind of telling a story about an interaction I had with the Manor Lords developer, but I decided to actually just read out the tweets rather than trying to paraphrase it and remember exactly, because I was getting things wrong. By the way, the mist looks absolutely stunning there. It looks so good. Like, so natural, the way how it's just a little bit raised off the ground like that. It looks so nice. Like it's emanating from the town because of the rainfall. Looks so good. Anyways... so it was about trade. This is what I was talking about and how you can make infinite money and stuff, right? So basically, Manor Lords tweeted, so this would be Greg, the project owner, the sole developer on the project who manages the project. Obviously, he didn't make every individual thing in the game, but he's the only developer at Slavic Magic, as it were. Anyway, so he tweeted, personally, I don't have a game design problem with, quote, infinite money, as some clickbaity videos say. Yes, sheep make infinite wool, and trade-only towns were part of the design. But I think the export abuse feedback came in so often that I decided to YOLO a last-minute feature. So the feature in question he's talking about is that when you're trading now, he posted a picture where it'll say a global market supply is being added to the game. So it'll say critically oversupplied, extremely low prices, no foreign exports. So at a certain point, with certain goods, you can't export the same thing too much, otherwise the global market supply will be reached. So fair enough, we'll see if it works out and how that kind of feeds into the game design. The next thing then, I replied to this. I'm just curious to see what people thought of it. So here's what I said in response. Currently the game is a large snowball, where the more people you have, the easier it is to do more of everything, more money, etc. I think this will be naturally curtailed when disease, crime, squalor, food spoilage, larger raids, and more come into play. I also think markets fluctuating prices based on sales is good, but also trader frequency should be seasonal or even just once per year, so you have to prepare for it more like Farthest Frontier or Banished. That requires you to have more trader haulers loading it up over the year. Naturally then, as you grow and load this place with more things, it can be a target for crime or theft, and so need guards or other protections that increase the player's cost of trading, keeping them in check. You could also have a hard cap of how much wealth the trader even carries, or a demand of what they need. Bit more involved on that one, you'd need a lot more UI to go with it. So anyway, that's just my take on it. You don't have to blow smoke up my bum on that one. You can let me know what you think, if that sounds reasonable. Now, of course, we're on Twitter. There's only so much you can write and so much nuance you can get across. And just one real quick reply here from Greg. He said, I mostly agree, though as usual, the subject can get complex. I think some of those suggestions can be great game-breaking. Like limiting the trade to 1 per year would obliterate most early trade builds, rushing iron to trade it for food and cloth, and potentially harm the pacing of the whole game. And while new challenges are needed for late game, there needs to be a feeling of progression as well. Someone commented on Reddit that I should watch out for removing stuff players consider OP, because that's how a lot of games ended up being less fun. Interesting take. And I can't even find my other tweet. Oh yeah, so I had one quick reply here, and I said, yeah, if you listen to the hardcore only, you'll circle the drain of making a perfectly balanced but perfectly boring game. I've seen it happen many times. Always gather feedback from players who play 100 hours and 1 hour. And never listen to YouTubers. They just want what's good for content. So a little self-deprecating humor there. But yeah, so it's just an interesting thing. I love talking to Greg about those things and just seeing what he says about them and how other people interact with them as well. It's interesting seeing a developer who's open to ideas, suggestions, and feedback. I agree. I think there's a fine balance, though, between what's considered OP and what's considered balanced. You know, ultimately, if your game is far too easy, then you lose that sense of progression just the same way you would if it's far too punishing and you feel like you're stuck. So obviously it's, you have to thread the needle correctly. And I think, with crime, squalor, things like that, there are smell overlays. There's talk of droughts in the game. That would naturally mean that you have to dip into your regional wealth to purchase things that maybe you're not producing enough of, or, things will get more costly for you just as a player when natural disasters happen, or if you get attacked by one of the other roaming AI lords in the game. So, you're supposed to be able to have a region that builds up wealth and stockpile it and do very well for yourself. But that's only true if there's nothing else hampering you ever at all, which is kind of the case in the game at the moment. There's very little hampering you, right? There's maybe a bandit raid every now and then. They're not very big. There's no droughts. There's no disease, no squalor. There's no AI lord running around attacking you and things like that. So until any of that comes in, it's a bit unfair to say anything is OP or unbalanced, because it's like, well, the vision of the game isn't realized yet. It's just literally just a portion of it. Anyway, just kind of curious to see if anyone has any takes or thoughts on any of that. Because it was an interesting interaction, I felt. Alright, storehouse. So our farmhouse is now built, and we have our upgrade in place. Can we actually see it? Is it just the additional stable here, maybe? Excuse me, it could just be that. I'm not sure what the additional... Excuse me again. Not sure what the additional change was, but obviously it's been upgraded now. So we can start kind of deciding which farms get priority, which ones we do first, which ones get plowed. I have 3 oxen here so far. Do we have our hitching post built? Not yet. We can maybe order another one and then get our fields plowed. It is July, so we can start the process, I guess, soon enough. They're still building up the area, though. Cool. Love it. We're up to 11 families, actually, here. 33 people. That's awesome. Got another one moving into swords right now. The problem that they're going to run into over in the Knoll is food. There isn't going to be enough food in that region until we get farming going. See, we're able to sustain this entire place off of a very nice, rich animal deposit, which we boosted further with traps and a few other things in the development tree. And even with our 2 families on this, we're never depleting it. It's just always staying full, especially during the summertime. And we're just building up meat. You know, we've got loads of it, so it's not really a problem as of right now. So we really do need the things like vegetable patches and supplemental ways of making food on this side of things. Otherwise, we'll run into problems for population once we get to about 60 people. Although right now, with the berries and everything, we're doing very well. But meat is quite low, so we're relying on seasonal food, basically. The place looks really nice now, actually, that we've carved away a lot of the trees. I actually don't know what this is called, like this plant. Because, you know, I grew up living next to a forest, basically, as well, and farmland. I basically, like I said, you know, this is called the Knoll. This is pretty much where I grew up. And when you go to deep into a forest, you see this everywhere. But I can't actually think what you call it. It's not like ivy, is it? On the ground. It's like this shrubbery, these like kind of leaves. It's not clover. Obviously, clover's like really small on grass. But anyway, I don't know why I'm focusing on this. I just think it looks really good for some reason. I'm just like, yeah, it's like really high definition, high detail. And it just looks quite nice. It has like little shadows and everything. It's just everything's accurately modeled, so it adds texture to the ground and volume to the vegetation, if I could. All right, we're doing a little military drill here. I want to see some of this equipment. Didn't want to be a tease. I want to actually see what the boys have got on them now. Not everyone technically has equipment. You know, some people might be lacking helmets and things, but for the most part, I'd say like 90% equipped right now, so that's good. We're kind of, what's the word? We're assembling on the field of Mars right now. And actually for that, let's clear some of that shrubbery. Alright, so we've got our archers in a line there. Spearmen, we have our polearm unit, our new polearm unit. We haven't seen them yet. And our retinue. Alright, so this is everything we've got. Alright, just hidden the UI for a second so we can kind of see the archers now. So they almost look like heavy archers now, but we don't have the abilities that the mercenaries did, such as doing that kind of spread out maneuver, loose spacing. But you can see most of them, if not all, I think have their helmets. Some of them have mail armor, some don't, because we don't have all of that just yet, but looking good. Next unit over, this is our sidearm unit. They're kind of bringing themselves, what do they got? Like clubs, hammers, and axes. And they have their small shields. Again, they've got all good helmets. They're looking good. Keep them from getting their heads bashed in. Then we have the polearm units. These guys look badass. A lot of them have mail armor, so they're looking quite nice. Not much else to say about it, but yep, they've got their helmets. It seems like helmets we have for everyone, but it's just the mail armor maybe isn't fully dished out to everyone yet. Then we have the spear unit. Nice defensive unit. Looking good. A lot more mail armor on these guys as well. A couple of guys off in the woods there playing around. They're a bit late to the drill. What are you doing, boys? Come on. Get in line. And then we have our new elite tier men-at-arms, our retinue. 12 men thick. Still haven't got their colors quite right. We'll do that in the next episode. But yeah, the gear is looking good. These guys need to shut your face. Pull their visors down. They got open helmets right now. Anyway, that's it. I just thought we'd have a look at those units. Very cute. Very small little units right now, but we're getting there. Back to work, lads. Might send that retinue at the beginning of the next episode over to inspect the farms. Make sure everything's going well over here. Everyone's paying their due and paying their taxes. Although there's no manor over here, so technically they're not paying their taxes. But that's okay. They'll be fine. So I think we're going to leave it there. You know, we've gotten the field's layout generally kind of laid out. Why do I keep saying that today? Anyway, there must be another word for that. Anyway, so we have the layout sorted. Happy with where the farmhouse is. Happy with most of the supplemental buildings. We're approaching August, so we can start the plowing process soon. Just want to get the other hitching post up and running. We'll purchase another ox. That'll be 4 in total, and then we'll start plowing the fields just to get them ready for the sowing and the growth for next year, I guess. Then it's going to be about relocating a lot of the town that's currently over here for the Knoll. A bit more closer over that way. Just some dedicated proper houses now that we're not going to move around too much. So I've told a lot of these woodcutters to kind of chop down these trees here, because that's going to be where we're largely moving to. And that's going to be kind of more of the central part of the region, right on top of that buried deposit, basically. Yeah, maybe we could have that deposit at the back of someone's house, actually. We could have a forager hut next to it and a house next to it. Might kind of look kind of cool, like they own that. Maybe. I wonder how much you can actually remove around it without affecting it. Anyway, we'll find out. Right, so anyway, that's it for this episode. Really enjoying the game. At least we got rid of that raid. We got really lucky with it. Oh, and just before I wrap up, actually, we did build the pack station, and we can order a mule directly from there, because our livestock trader, it just doesn't seem to be getting delivered. We've set an order for 20. It's 2 per mule to import, which seems really cheap, because here it's 25. So there's some sort of discrepancy there, unless I'm reading something wrong, which obviously is always a possibility with me. But that does seem strange, but they're not coming in, so it's obviously not working. I have multiple stables, so I think what we'll do is just order them through the pack station. We'll have a person assigned to that, and then we can start. I can actually now look in between episodes how this works and better inform people. But yeah, you can only send a good if you receive a good. That seems to be the way it works. As for the amounts involved, I'm not too sure. But that's quite interesting, because we've got infinite iron here now, so we could actually send iron ore out to another sort of blacksmithing town where we make loads of weapons or something. Quite interesting how that can kind of all work. And if you have multiple pack stations, can you do different ones? I assume so. Rather than just one thing out of your region. Anyway, we'll find it all out in the next episodes. That's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.